Hello everyone, welcome to Movie Talk. Today I'm going to be talking about Five Nights at Freddy's, the movie, directed by Emma Tammy, also written by Emma Tammy, but there are other screenplayers right there, like Scott Cawthon, the developer of the game, and another guy that I don't remember the name, and to be honest, I don't care too much. This is the first adaptation of the famous saga of the games that is Five Nights at Freddy's. I believe there is like 12 games from the original franchise. I know there is the famous 4 games, FNAF 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's also Sister Location, there's Ultimate Custom Night, there's Five Nights at Freddy's 6 in that where you build your own pizzeria. There's Security Breach, there's Help Wanted, and there's other stuff too, but I don't remember everything. Although I really like Five Nights at Freddy's, I don't know everything. Maybe if you asked me like 5 years ago, probably I would, because in that time, the kids really liked FNAF. I still like the games. I went to play the games like before this movie came out, so I could remember a bit how it was, and the games are still fun to play. Like when you know the stuff, it gets kind of boring because you don't get jump scared a lot, but the games are still kind of cool. Five Nights at Freddy's is the first film adaptation of the eponymous video game franchise, released in 2004, 2014, and created by Scott Cawthon. The story takes place in a typical American family restaurant called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which is currently disabled, and accompanies Mike Schmidt, a young man who is going through some financial problems. Fortunately, he sees the answer to his problems when he is hired to work as the night watchman at the pizzeria. Created by Henry Emily and William Afton, the place used to be very famous for its characteristic animated robots, which were the face of the place and made the children's party during the day. However, when the sun sets and the darkness of the night arrives, a dark and deadly secret is revealed. The animatronic puppets come to life, turning into psychotic killers and going on a violent killing spree. So this synopsis is a bit wrong, because this would be more like the synopsis of the game. Here in the movie, they completely dislodge some things about the game, and the movie is just awful. I'm just gonna say that right away. I didn't like anything about this movie. Well, anything is a bit too much. Like, the design of the animatronics is good. Like, it transmits a bit of the feeling that you get when you play the game, a bit of like new stuff. Like when you first play the game, you're like, oh, this is very nice. Like, the design of the animatronics is very nice, and in the movie, yes, it's still very nice. Not just the animatronics, but the whole place of the pizzeria gets you the feeling of the game. But talking about the story, it's horrendous. As I said here in the synopsis, the robots, the animatronics, should be violent during the night, because they come to life on the nights. That's why it's called Five Nights at Freddy's. And in 6 a.m. they are disabled in 6 a.m. and they are psychotic killers. Like, they are supposed to kill everyone they see. Like, technically the reason they kill is because they see that the person isn't wearing a costume, so they think they have to put them in the costume. That's the whole idea of the first game, basically. And here they just kill for whatever reason, and it's not even during the night. Like, they're enabled all the time. Like, in the game, you have from 12 a.m., midnight, to 6 a.m., because that's when they are activated. In this movie, they're activated all the time for whatever reason, and it just doesn't make sense. And they don't kill people. The only people they kill, it's a group of vandalists that goes to the restaurant in the middle of the day, literally middle of the day, and they go there, they break some stuff in the pizzeria, and out of nowhere they start killing these guys. Like, it looks like the animatronics are the good guys. It looks like the animatronics are good people, which they're not. In the games, they're there to kill. Also, the whole idea of the first game is being stuck in the security room, looking at the cameras, looking at the doors, shutting the doors when the animatronics come out, seeing the lights. In this movie, like, we get a few, like, 3 minutes of what is the security room, and there's nothing else. Like, the only thing they do is showing us the cameras and showing the security room. Like, it's really just a few minutes. Like, there isn't much of appearance of the security room. And I think if they wanted to bring us the nostalgia of the game, of course they already have the animatronics in the pizzeria, but they could make like a sequence, like a 5 minute sequence of our protagonist stuck in the security room, looking at the cameras and looking at the lights and shutting the door at least once to bring us the feeling of the game. Talking about the protagonist, is just an awful character. It doesn't have any interesting development. I was gonna say he doesn't have any development, but that's completely wrong because the movie focuses so much on the main character. They focus so much that they forget about everything else. We just there, like everyone wanted to see a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. They wanted to see the animatronics. They wanted to see a security guard being stuck in the room where there are animatronics out there. But unfortunately, this movie does the completely opposite. We get few time with animatronics as we would like, and the main plot of the movie is a trauma that the character has because he lost his brother when he was like 12 years old, and apparently he's living from his 12 years old to like now where he's like 30 years old, and he's still living with that memory. He's still dreaming about that. Like, it looks like he dreams about that every night. Imagine yourself having the same dream every night. It's completely awful, but they don't do anything with that, and the only thing they do is showing us that he has a trauma, which we already understood, but they still keep going with the same dream. Then when we finally get to see the animatronics activated, like on the third night of his job, the protagonist brings his sister with him, and his sister is like 10 years old, and she talks with the animatronics like she's her friend, and the animatronics are like talking to her also. They're like playing with her, and then out of nowhere appears a police, the Vanessa. I don't remember her name. I think it's Vanessa. She's a cop. She appears out of nowhere. She does basically nothing to the story. She only appears to talk to our protagonist, and then out of nowhere the protagonist makes friends with her. I don't understood anything of that because it's clearly a that character, the cop Vanessa, it's clearly a character that would be important in the future of the movie, but she's there doing nothing. Also, talking about the police, like in the real world, this case would be so much investigated. It looks like that from the 80s to now 2020, that is, I think, where the movie is being I think the movie is in our year era, like 2023. Maybe it's like the 2010s because the first game was released in the 2010s, but maybe not. I think it's 2023. In that 30 or 40 years time, there hasn't been anyone investigating this stuff. There hasn't been anyone like interested in the case of the pizzeria. Like, there are robots that are turning to life, and it's not even just on the pizzeria. Like, we see Freddy. We can see that in the trailer. This is not a spoiler. We can see Freddy getting out of the pizzeria, going to our protagonist's house, and then entering a taxi. The fucking bear just enters a taxi, and the driver doesn't say anything. He's like, oh, that's weird shit, and just keeps going. It doesn't make any sense. The thing that got me frustrated the most was people in the cinema, in my theater. They were like, oh, this is amazing. They were like gasping anytime they could. They applauded the movie in the ending. Like, how are you finding this movie good? How did you like this movie? It's not just that people like this movie, they applauded. Like, that's thing. The only times I've seen applauding in the movie was in Oppenheimer and in Barbie. Barbie because it's a fun movie. Oppenheimer because I was the person applauding. Now talking again about the people in my cinema, like the majority was probably going there from the nostalgia and probably going there because they like the games. But the thing is that there is nothing about the games except the animatronics and the pizzeria. Anything else, it's completely new, and it's it doesn't attract anyone. Like apparently it does attract everyone because this movie is already making $270 million. It was one of the biggest horror movies opening weekend. Sorry, I think it made like 80 million in the first weekend, which already paid the movie. The movie only costed 20 million, and that's actually a props that I need to give because the design of the animatronics was very good. But I understand why the budget was so low because they spend nothing on actors. Like these actors are completely unknown, except the protagonist. I think he has made Hunger Games. I think he was on Hunger Games, not the new one, of course. But everyone is literally bad. Like acting, everyone is bad. There isn't anything in there of actors except one guy that is Matt Pat. If you don't know Matt Pat, he's like a YouTuber. He's a film and game theorist. He has the channel Game Theorist and Film Theorist. He's really great, and he made a special appearance that it was very nice. I had a laugh. I don't really remember what I was talking about. I think I was talking about the people going there to see things from the game, but there isn't much. Oh, I remember. People apparently like this movie because on Rotten Tomatoes, the audience score is like 87%, and the rating is 4.3 out of 5. Like, apparently, a lot of people like this movie, and I can't understand how. This is a very bad movie. As I mentioned earlier, Freddy gets out of the pizzeria and goes to our main protagonist's house, where I don't know how he done that. Apparently, he can teleport himself and the other animatronics too. And another minor thing: what the hell was that cupcake of Chica doing? Like, the cupcake can fly apparently. What the hell? Also, another thing that I have to say, like there is a drama between the main character and his aunt, because she wants his sister. She wants Abby. I don't really understood why she wanted it so much. I think because she would get the money, but I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And then there's this drama around all throughout all the movie, and it's just not worthy. It's really bad. It's something that we don't care. If the next movie, because this gonna have a sequel definitely, if the next movie forgets completely about these main characters, completely about his sister, and completely about everyone in this movie, like in this world, for me it wouldn't get a difference. I don't care about any of these characters. I have so much things to say because I disliked so much the experience of this movie. But this video already has 15 minutes, maybe you're like 13 minutes, I don't know. I would have to cut a lot of things out. uh, this this was an awful movie. I didn't like it. For Five Nights at Freddy's, I give a 3 out of 10. Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like the movie. Like, I went to have I went to had a fun time because I liked the games. I was completely into the games when I was more of a child. When I was there with 12 years old, 13, I liked the games. Even now, I went to play again to see how the games were. They still hold up to this day. They're not as scary. Of course, they were scarier in the past, but some of them can still scare you, like FNAF 4 or FNAF 2. And the movie has nothing from these games. Like, I I don't know. I didn't like it. It's an awful movie. I hated the experience. The only things that I can say they're good about the movie is like the design, the soundtrack of the movie, and nothing else. So yes, guys, I know this video was a bit sad because now I'm a bit sad. I'm rethinking about the movie and I didn't enjoy anything. I didn't enjoy anything. So go watch the movie or don't, because you don't lose anything with that, and form your own opinion. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.